Player segment here on Hawks Sports Talk. As I mentioned, Pete Lawrence is one of my favorite guys, but we'll talk to one of his players and see if that holds up true, as we have the redshirt junior defenseman out of Cheshire, Connecticut, a place I lived for a little bit, at number 35, Torrey Martone. And listen to this statistic before we start this interview, but Hartford, as a team, ranks 13th in the nation in caused turnovers, 7.88 per game. I'm a person that likes to round up, so about 8 per game. And you and your teammate and Brian Monk seem to be the shutdown defensemen, guys that it seems like when there's the top player on the opposing team, you mark one, Brian Monk marks the other. What makes you guys the go-to people for the men's lacrosse team?
First, thanks for having me on. But me and Monks and even Kevin Sound, we all work real hard. We go against a great attack every day. And even our midfield, Kevin O'Shea, played a little attack his whole career here. Going against guys like that makes it easy to go against some of the guys we have to go against in games, and works out for us lately. But Monks is great shutdown defenseman, plays great positioning, and he's got a great stick, probably the best on the defense, and I'm more of the body type, but we work well together.
It seems like on the defensive end, especially the 5 years that I've been able to cover this team, the defense really is the staple and kind of the anchor of the team. And a term that I used to use when I was growing up playing football, we used to call it banjo, which is a switch. And it seems like you guys do a pretty good job of, when they're trying to kind of mix and set picks, that you guys switch very well. What is the chemistry like between you guys?
It started out a little shaky early in the year because Monks has been playing LSM his whole career here. And
long stick midi for those that don't understand that.
And due to injuries, he had to play down low. So took a little while to get, but we're working together now. And Coach always says we're a systems over matchups team. So if there's picks or anything, it's no problem for us to switch. We know that somebody else on our team can always help us out.
Team right now, 5-4, 2-1 in conference play. 5 games remain. What do you guys need to do as a squad to make sure that you finish strong, and 4 of which of those 5 games are home right here on your home campus?
I think we just need to play like we've been playing these last few games. We had a little rough patch there, but got a few guys back. And Jaden Henderson, he's been playing well. Alec Brown on the offense. Defense starting to come together. And I think we just got to keep playing hard like we are, keep running our systems. And if we keep playing like we do, I think we'll make a good run at it.
You're a transfer in from UMass. You obviously came to Hartford after that 2011 championship run. What was it about Hartford? What was it about Pete Lawrence and this school and this program that attracted you to leave UMass with the Minutemen and come closer to home?
Well, I was recruited out of Hartford at a high school, and I liked it then, and decided not to come, though. But then when I decided to transfer, met with the coaching staff, thought that they were all great guys, and we played against Hartford when I was at UMass. And they played hard every game we played them in, and saw that they played some great teams, and just knew this was the place for me when I came to visit.
I always make a joke that the college, you don't choose it, the college chooses you, and obviously that story has come true with you.
Yep, it definitely has, and happy I made the choice here. Don't regret it at all. Love every minute here. Happy with the team.
Well, thanks for stopping in. Best of luck the rest of the way. Torrey Martone from Cheshire, Connecticut.
Thank you for having me.
All right, we'll take a break. When we come on back, you're on Hawks Sports Talk. We'll keep up with the theme of special guest as we have a nice hit-home story coming up next right here on 91.3 FM WWH. Back here on Hawks Sports Talk, we'll move into the coaches segment. And one of my favorite guys on campus. I haven't seen you in a while, bud, but it is the 10th-year head coach of the men's lacrosse team, and Peter Lawrence. Team right now 5-4, 2-1 in conference play. And unlike other sports where, once you get into conference play, you stay there, your sport has the luxury of kind of mixing and matching and intertwining non-conference and conference play. And I feel like it allows you to either get in a groove or get out of a groove. And you guys are coming off 2 solid wins, one in conference play, one in non-conference play. And right now, things are running smooth, I would say.
Yeah, no, thanks for having me. No, the team's coming together well. So excited where we're at this point.
So let's go right back to that. Do you find that is an advantage of the fact that the schedule is intertwined?
I think at this point in the season, you just want to play more than you feel like you're practicing, and in a lot of ways, that's how you get better. Is to kind of test drive things, against other opponents versus feeling like, all right, we got to go out and we got to practice, 5 days to get ready for UMBC. So, I think mixing in the non-conference games with the conference games, and partly because you want to play more games at the end of the season when the weather's a little bit nicer, is also, I think, a difference maker too. So we try and backload the schedule a little bit more than front load.
You guys this year, I guess the most, since the 5 years that I've been covering you, are playing a little more freshmen than you would like to, due to some injuries, due to some great practices, and they're getting a good number of playing time. How have they stepped up as a class to really help propel this team?
Absolutely. I mean, I think some of it was by circumstance. Some guys went down early and they were kind of thrown into the fire, and I think they've had good days and bad days. But, I think at this point in the season, they're not going into games and feeling nervous anymore. They're not questioning, can I do this? Can I not do this? And I think that's natural of any freshman when they first kind of get out there. You're a little unsure of yourself and what you're capable of. And I think, we've had a lot of freshmen make a big impact. You just have to look at the stats and you see how many games they've played in and some of the points and, some of the goals they've scored. So we've gotten a great contribution from the freshman class.
You've had one of those games in your 5-4 record where figuratively you got punched in the face. And how was the response from the team as a whole after that fact, where you guys were able to kind of pick each other up and come away with 2 consecutive wins?
Absolutely. I think we're, coming together still as a team, and figuring out roles and things like that. But it's good to play, top 10 teams, coming into the season, I think Albany might be number 8 in the country right now, and I think Brown's number 10, so it's good to have had that experience and say, okay, here's what a top 10 team looks like. Here's what 2 of the better teams in the country look like. And I think if we were to play those, teams again, say now, I think we're a different team, partly because we've gotten a few guys back that didn't play maybe in those games, and that makes us a different team. But like I said, I think also with every game, some of the younger guys feel that much more confident. And I just think even over the course of a week, to 10 days, someone that could come watch us have played 10 days ago and now watch us play now, they might go, this doesn't even look like the same team, because I think we're just getting that much better. And that's a good thing at this point in the season. You want to feel like every day you go out, you're getting better.
We'll get that look on Saturday when you guys host UMBC. We're here on Hawks Sports Talk. We're sitting down with the 10th-year head coach of the men's lacrosse team, in Pete Lawrence. And I feel like you're in a pretty good spot. You got 5 games remaining, 4 of which are at home inside the Zook. And what kind of tweaks do you need to make from now through the rest of the season to make sure that you're sitting atop of the America East when it comes championship tournament time?
I don't think there's a lot that we have to tweak. I think we just need to strengthen some of the things that we're currently doing. But I think part of the issue was we were constantly kind of juggling the lineup, and I think now we're trying to feel like, these last 2 games we've really kind of solidified, the lineup. Here's what the starting attack is. Here's what the starting D looks like. Here's what the first midfield looks like. And again, some of that was due to injuries and, still seeing what guys are bringing to the table. But now I think it's really about kind of bringing along the chemistry, to an even better place, and I think that just takes time of like playing together with guys and, I think because of injuries again and some of those things, some guys just haven't had a chance to play together as like a unit, as a midfield, as an attack group, as a D group, and things of that nature. And I think with every day that goes by, the chemistry is only going to keep getting better and better.
Now, 2011, 4 years ago, obviously your guys' America East Championship, first trip to the NCAA tournament. I have to assume that at some point throughout the course of every season, you kind of either think back to that or pull up a highlight reel or pull up a game tape and kind of get, I guess, some clues or something that you did that season to kind of help you in your season now. How often do you do that, or do you even do that?
Sure. No, I think you always look back to when you've had the most success and say, well, what was it? And not to say that you can always just exactly replicate that, because part of that is, the players, and it would be, maybe taking more credit for what the coaching was and not giving enough credit to what some of the players were. We had some great players, and that's why I think we're able to be successful. So it's not like we can just bring back Tim Fallon and, Connor Flynn and Carter Bender.
The pride of Lowell.
Yeah, exactly. But I really like our team this year. I think, again, we've had a lot of adversity, more than probably any other year. And again, I think, kind of what we've said is either we're going to grow stronger from that, or we're going to, come apart at the, the seams. And I think we've grown stronger, and it's still, I think we're still in a growing process. I don't think, like we've hit the ceiling and we can't keep getting better. I think there's still a lot of room to get better. But no, we were actually watching on our Binghamton trip, I actually put in, the CBS Sports,
the Stony Brook game?
Yeah, Stony Brook game.
Oh.
We actually watched a little bit of the Stony Brook game on the bus ride, And again, I think, we only have one player on the roster that was on that team, Adam Yee. Other guys that, are freshmen and sophomores know what it's like to be really close and be in the conference tournament and have their season end, but they don't all know what it's like, that feeling of, running out on the field and feeling like, hey, this is what we talked about from the beginning of the season, what we wanted to accomplish, and what that feels like to do that. And I think it's good to kind of show them that when you watch that game, it really isn't that pretty. Like you don't, like it didn't start that pretty. It was like, oh, you just threw the ball away. Like, oh, that was a terrible shot. Like, oh, that was a really bad mistake on defense. And, so I think the reason to kind of show it is it's like, it wasn't that it was like we played flawless lacrosse. We just played really hard, and I think we wanted it really bad. And that's why we were successful, in winning that championship. And sure, we had some guys that had talent, but I think they had a more talented team. You just have to look and go, oh, Kevin Crowley is, was the MVP of the gold medal world championship game last year and was a first team All-American, and he was the midfielder and player of the year. Like we've had All-Americans, but we haven't had the player of the year. So I think, again, it was good to show that, more so for the sake of, I've heard about this guy, and I think he was, but he just threw the ball away right there, and he made a mistake right there, and he missed a ground ball right there. He did make a good play here, but it wasn't flawless lacrosse, and I think it's good to see that it doesn't take perfection to win. It just takes a lot of heart and a lot of hard work.
And I think, obviously with the winning, I felt like that year and that team and everybody involved with the fans and everybody, people just had fun. And if you have fun, good things tend to happen. And that was just a fun year to kind of be around the men's lacrosse team. And it just happened that you guys won.
Absolutely. I think what, just like you're commenting on is I think we had like a special energy and like kind of attitude.
Without a doubt.
And it wasn't even so much, again, like what I'm saying is that it was this unbelievable skill level. And I think that's what we're starting to have this year. I think that's why we've been successful these last two games. I think what we realized is we didn't have that energy. We didn't really have a strong identity of what our energy, our attitude was, on game day or how we approached a practice. And I think when you have, again, a younger group and you have a void of some leadership, and I think we have great leaders, but we lost a few of them to season-ending injuries. We needed some other guys to step up, and I think now we're kind of finding our energy and kind of finding our identity, and it's a good time to do that, before a lot of big conference games.
It's always great to see you. Best of luck this weekend. I'm sure we'll be talking to you the rest of the season.
Thanks for having me on.
That's the head coach for the men's lacrosse team, 10th-year head coach in Pete Lawrence. We'll take a break here on Hawks Sports Talk. I like the coach. We'll find out if one of his star defensemen like him when we come back here on Hawks Sports Talk on the defensive end of things in the players segment here on Hawks Sports Talk on 91.3 FM WWH. Welcome back here on Hawks Sports Talk, our special segment. It seems like that's been the theme the past couple weeks, but we have some special guests from the University of Hartford. They're student athletes as well. Chaz Davis is a junior from Massachusetts. Haley Rice is a senior from New York. And they're going to be doing a Chaz for Champions walk coming up on Sunday, April 12th. And it's to help Chaz Davis, who is with us here, who just came down with kind of a rare disease where he's lost his vision, but shockingly has been able to still continue to compete as a cross-country athlete as well as track and field here at the University of Hartford, and we're glad to welcome both of you guys here to Hawk Sports Talk. And Chaz, we'll start off with you. You were telling me the disease, it was kind of long, and so I'm not going to try to pronounce it, so I'll let you do it, but it's abbreviated by LHAN, and it has really taken a good chunk of your vision, but yet you've miraculously found a way to still compete as a student athlete here at the University of Hartford.
Right. So the disease is called Leber's hereditary optic neuropathy, and it's really rare, actually. It only affects about 100 people in the United States each year, and really the primary demographic for the people it affects is males in the 19 to 21 age range. So it really affects people in, the middle of their life. So a lot of people have difficulty coping with it and stuff like that, but that's really how the disease goes.
It seems like you're handling it fairly well. This is the first time that I'm actually getting to meet you, but I saw your story on AmericaEast.com. If you can just bring us back to, that story where you kind of had that flash in your eye and then you realized something was wrong. But take us back to that moment so we can tell the listeners.
So it was the end of my freshman year. It was probably around this time 2 years ago, actually. So I've had the disease for 2 years. But so I was in class for one of my rhetoric and writing courses, and it appeared as though a flash had gone off in my right eye. And that's pretty much how I describe it, but it's really that my right eye was blurry, and when I was looking out of both of my eyes, that's how it appeared. And so I really noticed that something was wrong, so I decided to just try and nap it off, and hopefully when I woke up it would be all right, but that wasn't the case. So I ended up calling my parents, and they kind of almost shoved it aside, which I was a little surprised about at first. But they didn't really understand the extent of it at that point, and really neither did I. But I was kind of persistent, and then my mom ended up taking me to the hospital to kind of get evaluated. And eventually, through a whole battery of tests, they came back with a diagnosis of LHON, but only months later, because that's how rare it is. Really, even the professionals or the experts in the field don't really even know too much about the disease. So, that's really kind of what was going on at that point. It was the middle of the track season. I just concluded indoor track and was trying to transition into outdoor track my freshman year, as well as dealing with all the struggles of, being a freshman too. So it was definitely a huge, huge thing I had to adapt to. And I ended up finishing the outdoor track season my freshman year with only one eye still operable, and but by July of 2013 both my eyes became affected, and then I wasn't able to drive anymore, so I had to give up driving and give up a lot of the things that I used to do there. So that was pretty devastating at the beginning. And also one of the things that I was told to give up was running itself, because they thought it would take energy away from the eye and, cause my vision to become worse. So all those things happening at the same time really devastated me and really put me in an emotional slump, I'd say.
We're hearing from Chaz Davis. He's a junior here from the University of Hartford. He hails from Massachusetts. He's a cross-country runner and a member of the track team. And we also have his, teammate, the senior from New York, in Haley Rice. So we'll bring you into the mix. And Chaz is telling us his story. So take us back to when he actually had to tell the entire team what was going on and what your guys' response was.
I remember when we had first heard that Chaz had something going on with his eye. They weren't really sure what it was. And like he said, it took a couple of months for them to come up with an actual diagnosis. I remember everyone was just kind of confused about the severity of it. Everyone just wasn't really sure. And then as it started to come out that it was more serious than everyone had initially thought, it was really scary to see someone on our team, at our school, just like all of us, go through something, so awful. But then it almost brings aside the point where tragedy can really bring people together. And I think for our team, at least, it really brought people together.
Now, Chaz, we were talking prior to this now. I think it was the doctors that probably told you that to stop running, but it's more of a stress relief for you, and you didn't look at it as kind of the energy being taken away from your vision. So how much, I guess, pun intended, hurdles did you have to jump over to convince your team and your coach to say, hey, no, listen, I need this, or else, I'm just going to be sitting in my room thinking about Elhan the entire time?
Really, it wasn't that difficult. Everyone on the team is supportive of it. My coaches are definitely supportive of it. Even initially when it had happened, the head coach, Steve Walsh, had said, Chaz, you're part of the team. You can do, you're part of the team, essentially, and we're going to keep you around and to not really worry about that, and we'll just take it, stride for stride. And so that's really what ended up happening. So at first, I really wasn't running, per doctor's orders. But then I went and saw another specialist in Atlanta, Georgia, and she told me that running would actually be beneficial to me. So I was kind of confused with the contradiction between doctors, but, I decided to go, with the route of, okay, well, one doctor said I'm going to run, so I guess I can run. So with that, I started running around the track because since I couldn't really see that well, that's really the only area I was able to go that was safe, and also did some runs on the treadmill as well. So that was going into my sophomore year of college, and as far as running for the cross-country team, I tried one race that was shorter than most of the races that season just to kind of try it out, and it ended up not working out. I had fallen. I was able to finish the race, but I had fallen, and, kind of really was a downer for me. But, they still encouraged me to keep running, just do it my own way and stuff like that. But cross-country just really wasn't a feasible task anymore, unfortunately. So that's really how my sophomore year ended up going. I didn't run track my sophomore year. I just kind of, just focused on school and stuff and not so much the athletic portion of it.
Now, from the story that I read, I guess you ran in a race this past year, or most recently in the past couple months, and you were able to have a little bit of success there. Yeah,
so I had started training again the fall of my junior year, so this year, and, I ran a lot on the treadmill, and I became comfortable enough that I could run on the treadmill without hanging onto the handles on the side. So I really started to get more confidence in my running ability, now not being able to see that well. And I ran in a road race, actually, with one of my teammates, Brian Irizarry, who's coincidentally my roommate as well. And it was a turkey trot that was 5 miles. And for the last 2 miles, I actually ran on the road by myself, which was a little scary. But, I was able to finish the race, and that was fine. That's really what got me into really thinking I could run indoor track. So, the indoor track season, I ran 4 races and actually got a personal best in the 3,000 meter, which I was really excited about. So, that's a personal best even from when I was sighted. So I was really, happy for that.
It just shows that if you actually have passion for things and put your mind to something, that you can really accomplish those tasks. We're here on Hawks Sports Talk. We're sitting down with the junior from Massachusetts, Chaz Davis, and the senior from New York, and Haley Rice. And Chaz is telling us a little bit about his story about Elhan, a disease that takes away your vision. And coming up on Sunday, April 12th, they're going to have a walk called Chaz's Champions, and it's a SAC event, SAC standing for Student Athletic Advisory Committee, where Haley, you're spearheading this event for Chaz, and it's to raise awareness for a disease that is kind of rare. And I feel like in this day and age, people don't pay attention until it actually affects someone that's close to them and their family, or things like that. So tell us a little bit about the event that's coming up on Sunday, April 12th, and really what the whole point of it is. And it seems like each time that the athletic department puts together a walk or an event, you get people from all walks of life to show up.
Yeah, definitely. Well, just being a part of SAC, the whole motto, everything you want to do is to better the community, better the people around you, and just kind of help out. So we do a lot, outside in the Hartford community, but we figured why not do something for one of our own? And Chaz is such an inspiring person. How could you not want to do something great for him? So we kind of got together, and we weren't sure exactly what we wanted to do, but we came up with the walk because we thought that would be something that everyone could participate in. So it's just going to be a campus loop. It's about 1.8 miles. We're all going to do it together. Just start in front of the sports center, finish right by the baseball and softball fields. Registration starts at 9:30. The walk starts at 10:30. It's $5 for students, and then the suggested donation for everyone else is about $10. We're giving out T-shirts. They are really nice. They say Chaz's Champions on them, Hartford SAC. And it's really just to bring everyone together. At the end of the walk, there will be a tailgate catered by Aramark, some games, and everyone's invited to go to the baseball and softball games after. But we really just want everyone to come together and support Chaz and really just to celebrate him and all of his success.
Yeah, especially with setting a mark in the 3,000 meters. You can get more information at hartfordhawks.com, or in this day and age, if you're a member of Facebook, you can search Chaz's Champions SAC event, SAAC event, or easiest way to do it is by going to hartfordhawks.com. Chaz, Haley, I'm glad that you guys were able to kind of spend some time with us here on Hawks Sports Talk, and it's a tremendous story. And Chaz, keep up the great work. The fact that you were able to kind of embrace this disease and not let it stop you from, I guess, exploring life and continuing to run. I mean, that's just tremendous. I don't run all the time, and I just feel like you guys are special in that, and the fact that your vision is taken away, but yet you continue to stride ahead is really tremendous and speaks volumes for a lot of people.
Thank you.
We appreciate the time. We'll take a break here in Hawks Sports Talk. When we return, we'll take a sneak peek at the week ahead in Hartford Athletics. You're catching all the action right here on 91.3 FM WWH.